The Southern Forests Conservation Coalition, SFCC, stands as a formidable advocate for the responsible conservation of southern forests, championing the protection of ecosystem services while opposing unsustainable logging practices, particularly the industrial-scale wood pellet industry. The mission of the Southern Forests Conservation Coalition is rooted in promoting responsible conservation practices for southern forests. SFCC actively opposes the industrial-scale wood pellet industry and other unsustainable logging practices. The coalition achieves its mission by engaging in comprehensive education initiatives targeting organizations, decision-makers, communities, and individuals. The focus is on raising awareness about the impacts of the wood pellet industry and empowering stakeholders to take collective action to safeguard the invaluable benefits provided by standing forests. A recent milestone for SFCC is the release of the documentary titled "Burning American Forests to Electrify Europe." This powerful narrative sheds light on the pressing issues affecting U.S. forests and proposes actionable solutions. This documentary, a call to action, can be accessed at their website link in the tour notes. To accomplish their mission, the Southern Forests Conservation Coalition, SFCC, employs a multifaceted approach. Firstly, the coalition actively encourages and supports research initiatives aimed at comprehensively understanding the scope and impacts of the wood pellet industry. This research spans environmental, health, and climate effects, providing a foundational understanding of the challenges at hand. Secondly, SFCC is deeply committed to education and empowerment, engaging with organizations, decision-makers, communities, and individuals to disseminate knowledge about the detrimental impacts of the wood pellet industry to take proactive measures for the protection of standing forests. Thirdly, SFCC is dedicated to solution development, actively working on proposing strategies to halt the expansion of the wood pellet industry and advocating for increased forest protection measures. Finally, the coalition engages in advocacy efforts for policy changes, aiming to eliminate the adverse environmental, health, and climate impacts associated with industrial-scale wood pellet production. This includes endeavors to revoke tax incentives for the industry and champion incentives for landowners to preserve forests, aligning their actions with their overarching mission of responsible forest conservation. SFCC does all of this work while being committed and affirming that equity and justice are integral to environmental protection, standing in solidarity against systemic racism and advocating for inclusive conservation practices. SFCC strongly urges you to get involved by staying informed, spreading the news, engaging locally, attending their events, lending your testimony, informing legislators, and support campaigns for change. Your contributions to the movement ensure that southern forests remain a source of life, biodiversity, and environmental balance for generations to come.